Hello. Today we remember the 7 sorrows of Our Lady. And here in the middle of Trinitytide, we find ourselves at Easter again. Yesterday was the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross, in which we remember Heraclius bringing the true cross back to Jerusalem after his victory against Khosroes. And like Constantine, in this sign conquer. Now, why do I say it's a bit like Easter? Because we're back to the cross. And we're back to Our Lady standing, sorrowing at the cross. And what do we see? We see this strange sorrow in amidst victory. One of the theories of the atonement, particularly the Church Fathers had, was that of Christus Victor. The idea of Christ as the penal substitution is valid, but it's not the one that is most prominent in the first 1,000 years of Christian history. Indeed, it only gets traction when the feudal system really sort of starts. But the whole centre of Christ on the cross, Christ victorious, in the midst of all the pain, the sorrow, the degradation, there is Christ upon the cross. It is finished. I've done it. I have won. Another way you could translate those last words of Christ on the cross. So we stand with Our Lady in sorrow, gazing up at the cross of Christ and seeing him again, remembering his death upon the cross, but remembering that this is a victory, not a defeat. At the moment, as you know, we are very much in mourning in this country. We are mourning the loss of the Queen. We're mourning the loss of a Christian lady. And I wonder how many of the people in the 2.6 mile long queues have actually met her. What we are facing is the death, not only of a Christian woman, of a queen, but of an age. We are moving into an era that's undefined, and there are voices already, anti-monarchist voices shouting, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this institution. Let's do something new. And the trouble is, as history bears record, the moment you say something like that, bad things happen. As soon as you try to separate yourself from your history, it all falls to bits. You look at the crown, you look at the sceptre, you look at the orb, and they're all crosses there. Yes, they're there with priceless jewels and things like that. And you might say, well, why don't we sell them off to give them to the poor? And that's a very good point. Why not? But we also remember that to have an enjewelled cross demonstrates the pricelessness of that cross. A cross that we bear, a cross of suffering, the cross that we get from being human, the cross that we get from being broken things, broken by that first sin, and how we've inherited that separation from God. We see that cross everywhere, And people try to get it out of the classrooms, people try to get it out of all kinds of places where it's usually to be found. They try to get it out of war memorials, try to get the cross out of village halls, that sort of thing. And what they're doing is they're removing the dignity of the human race. For the dignity of the human race is the ability to find God in the darkest depths of human depravity. That's one aspect of the victory, that humanity can outlive his own depravity. That even in the worst Holocaust, there is Christ. Even in the worst sex trafficking ring, there is Christ. Even in the worst slavery, even in the worst torture, even in the worst humiliation, there is Christ. In the worst grief, there is Christ. There is the cross, and there is Christ. And while that doesn't negate the suffering that people go through, although it doesn't negate the misery, the torture, it makes these horrible things like jewels. The wounds on Christ's hand appear after the resurrection because they are a testament to victory. And that's what the devil hates, and that's what death hates. The fact that we can still live, that we have still lived. So our country, mourning our Queen, of a new king, and he is, how he is holding up, I don't know. Great pain, I can imagine. But he need only look to the crown that his mother bore, and that he himself bears, and he will see the cross, and he will know that whatever pain he goes through, Christ is there. So, God bless you if you are in pain at this moment. God bless you if you are as low as you could ever have thought to be. That you may see Christ present with you. God bless you if you are worried about what will happen to this country, what new age we're going into. God bless you that you may be the vehicle by which you carry Christ into that new age. And God bless you that you may look up at the cross, and while you see the blood, the tears and sadness, you may be pulled through into the joy of eternal life. God bless you. Please pray for me.